podcast. Let's discuss first year, second year breakouts coming in 2025, coming up next year on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We got first and second year players that are really showing out in fall camp. It's been an exciting revelation over the last couple of years to hear that like Jaden Jackson was absolutely thriving at defensive tackle. And even though it was against an offensive line that wasn't very good last year, he proved to be really good throughout the 2024 season and is going to be one of those players that is going to continue to trend in a really positive direction. He's going to have another great year this year in the middle of Oklahoma's defensive line. But who are some first and second year players that are going to break out this year? And we're hearing really positive reports out of fall camp. And I'm going to start with Torrey Blaylock, the running back, the 4-star prospect who, again, blazing track speed, great quickness, great lateral agility. I don't think it's been discussed enough how good this kid is. He has good balance. He's a really talented player. And with Jaden not being held out of practice because of his shoulder, with Taylor Tatum and Xavier Robinson not getting a lot of time this fall, I'll be curious what's going on with those two because it doesn't seem like they've been practicing much. But Torrey Blaylock has taken advantage of every opportunity, and he's just impressed along the way. He was one of the standouts earlier this week when there were people out watching practice. Again, stood out in the scrimmage and is getting some first team reps, and he's been really good. He's just a natural ball carrier. Some guys are really, really fast. Some guys are really, really physical. Some guys, like a Gavin Sawchuk, they need a runway for them to be able to be successful. Torrey Blaylock, he is a complete back, and he was one of the best signings in the 2025 recruiting class. He's a guy that can break off a big play every single time he touches the ball, but he's going to be somebody up over 200 yards now or 200 pounds now who's going to be able to churn out the dirty yards as well. He's going to be able to get that 4th and 1, that 3rd and 1 that you need him to get because he's so quick, he's so physical, he has good vision, and he's going to be able to create maybe when it's not there because of his lateral agility, his speed, his quickness. So I'm excited about that. I think he's playing himself right now into an early opportunity to carry the ball with this team. This is going to be Jaden Ott's team. Javante Barnes is going to be getting those second run snaps. But Torrey Blaylock, he's going to get opportunities. I think he's just going to be too good to keep off the field long term. What this means for other backs on the roster, we'll see, but you're going to see Torrey Blaylock play this year. Whether he plays enough to use up that red shirt, that'll be the question. But I expect to see him not just in some of these non-conference games, but I expect to see him in SEC competition as well. Because again, he's somebody you want to get the football to. Other players, Elijah Thomas, the buzz continues on him. The Chakotah wide receiver, 4-star prospect in the 2025 class, true freshman, getting opportunities because they've had different wide receivers in and out of the lineup, guys that they've been holding out at different times, but he's taking advantage of every opportunity and continues to make plays. Where he fits into the wide receiver rotation is going to be fascinating to follow because you have guys that like Keontez Lewis who have played well in practice, Isaiah Satania, Deion Burks. We know Giovanni Gibson's going to be a big part of this thing. Jaden Gibson's going to be back at some point as well. Where does Elijah Thomas fit into all this? That's going to be a question. Jermichael Carter, the transfer from the spring portal, will also factor in. But he just seems like Torrey Blaylock, somebody that they're not going to be able to keep off the football field because he's just too dynamic. You want to get him the ball in all kinds of situations because he's going to be able to make plays for you. And the fact that he's pushing for snaps right now with the first team offense, That's a great sign for his future and for what Oklahoma might be able to get out of him this year, even though he's just a true freshman. So excited about Elijah Thomas. I think he's going to have a really, really bright career at Oklahoma. How quickly does he have his breakout? I think it's going to be this year. I think we're going to see him maybe catch 20 to 30 footballs and kind of start paving the way for his real breakout season in 2026, when I think he'll have a chance to be a starter for Oklahoma. Another player, Michael Fasusi. I mean, he might not be the starter right now. Jacob Sexton, I think, is still where people are going at left tackle. But if Jacob Sexton struggles, if he slips up in some of these games, if he has a hard time against Michigan, if he can't stay healthy, then Michael Fasusi might be one of the few left tackles to start as a true freshman. Will that be a smooth transition for Oklahoma? Not necessarily, but I think you'll get a lot more good than bad if Michael Fasusi starts. But again, he's somebody who has a really, really high ceiling. The trajectory for him is continuing to go up, and he just continues to impress. Bill Bedenbaugh expects him to play and play a lot this year. Will he be a starter? That's going to be the big question. And if he's not a starter, does that really matter? No. At some point this year, though, he'll play some significant snaps. And I bet he'll start a game or two, whether he's quote unquote the starter week 1 or not. I think he'll start a game or two. And I think this is a lot more due to just Jacob Sexton not being able to stay healthy. I hope the dude's able to stay healthy all year and have a great breakout performance for himself. I need to see it. I need to see him stay healthy for a whole year and be the player that was the 4-star prospect coming out of high school in the 2022 class. Of those 2024 guys, it's a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball that continue to create a lot of buzz for themselves. So Reggie Powers III, he's going to start for you. It's just a matter of whether it's at cheetah or strong safety. Given that Kendall Dolby is still not available fully for practice, I think it's more likely you see Reggie Powers III get most of his snaps at cheetah, especially in maybe some coverage situations. Him and Kendall Daniels will factor in mostly there, but I wouldn't sleep on the idea of him playing a lot of strong safety too in place of Peyton Bowen. The coaches love Reggie Powers III. They love his competitiveness. They love his drive, his athleticism, his physicality. He's going to bring the hurt every single time he's on the field. And that's going to set a tone. We've talked about guys like that set the tone physically for Oklahoma. Danny Stutzman was one of those guys. Robert Spears-Jennings is another one of those guys. Reggie Powers is that dude as well that brings it physically, fast, athletic, playmaker. He's going to set the tone for Oklahoma's defense in the secondary. You got to have those guys. But Danny Okoye, in the defensive end competition, we've heard several guys, Taylor Wine, Marvin Jones Jr., Danny Okoye, seem to really stand out. I think Danny Okoye is going to be that guy that shows up and shows out on a regular basis. You're going to see him in some more passing situations because he's just so athletic and fast and physical that you're going to want to get him out there in some second and third and long situations. But he's going to be the guy that, okay, as we look to 2026 and R. Mason Thomas and Marvin Jones Jr. are going off to the NFL, who are going to be the guys that step up? I think everybody's excited about Taylor Wine and what he's going to bring to the table. I think Danny Okoye is going to allay some concerns and fears about what the future likes at defensive end and at pass rusher in particular, because he's going to have a good year this year. He's going to break out. Even though it's going to be a rotational role, he's going to get some rotational snaps behind R. Mason Thomas at that weak side defensive end spot, and he's going to show out, and he's going to have a great, great season. So excited about those guys. Who are some of the first and second year guys you're excited to watch this year that you think are going to have breakout seasons for Oklahoma? Let us know in the YouTube comments or at Locked On Sooners on all your favorite social media platforms. But coming up next, Oklahoma is trying to flip a 2026 wide receiver. We'll discuss Braden Allen coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.